Hello and welcome to Flow with Maria E. I'm Maria E. Richardson, Maria, or Maria Esther in Spanish, as some people call me in Spanish. And today is my first podcast. I am starting with a very good friend of mine that I think has been on this path with me in the last few years of waking up, awareness, consciousness, the whole connection to our minds. And so today we're going to interview Anamaria Davalos. We have been friends for about 40 years or so,
Since high school.
since high school. Yeah, since the end of high
I
school.
was I was in boarding school when I met you.
That's right, in Boston. Thank you so much for joining me for my first podcast interview.
Thank you,
Uh,
Maria.
Thank you, and I love you. Um, and we had some time along the way where we got married, we had children, and then our paths reconnected
When
about
we got
5 years
divorced,
ago.
then again.
And again, and it was just like this calling to be with you. We hadn't had this connection in years and years and years, and then all of a sudden it was like my intuition was just like, I've got to see her. Something is calling me, and I think that's when my path of uh, consciousness, I guess, when I started to really work on myself started. And I remember just being incredibly guided, and like my intuition was just saying, go visit Ana Maria in California, go visit her. And I'm like, and then in 2 years, I visited you 3 times.
Yeah. I
And
think
it
I think you've been
was
more than that. I think you've been like 4 here.
maybe, well, I think 3, but we'll make it 4 soon. Um, and I love how our conversations have flowed as well about what is going on, what is happening with us, and how we're waking up, and how we're I don't know, just learning more about ourselves and being connected more to ourselves. And it's been a really fun path, and I'm so glad that you have joined me. So I want to just say a little bit about you, Anamaria Davalos. She is a behaviorist and mindset mentor. She is also host of I Am Conversations, which is a podcast on YouTube. I think you have it
And
weekly,
audibles, yeah.
bi-weekly. Yeah,
Yeah, and we have in Spotify and all the audibles, Apple Podcasts, and
that's amazing how you've
we're
grown.
reaching 62 countries already. So
That's amazing. I'm
in
so,
less
so
than a year,
happy
yeah.
for you.
Mm.
So happy for you.
Thank you.
And yeah, so let's start with the very basic question, okay? Because this is how I want it to flow. These are the conversations that I want to talk about is consciousness. So my first question to you is, what does consciousness mean to you?
Mm-hmm. Well, I can say in psychology, in the spiritual realm, whatever, consciousness has to do with your inner compass. It's like the little nudge you feel when you know something. Some people feel it like butterflies, the nudge, the thing in your heart. It goes more with your intuition. And for me, consciousness has to do with waking up, because we've talked about that, Maria, that it's like the bridge between your human mind and your higher wisdom. And it's those aha moments.
Yes.
And it's the first step so you can go to your wisdom. And there are many ways to get your consciousness. Like if I work also with entrepreneurs, so we can call it self-awareness. But if I work in the podcast or I'm talking to people, it's more the wisdom inside. It's like the feeling, the inner compass you feel when you wake up, because you have your mind, right? And when you're working with your mind, it's totally different. It's just your thoughts. You're very linear, and that's what people in the 3D here in Earth work, right? And when you go a step up and when you start meditating, you go to another different kind of waking up to see that there's a bigger purpose in life. So I usually connect consciousness with purpose. Why do you wake up every day for? Are just for results? Are just for money you work? or why the question I always tell my clients is, why do you exist?
Mhm.
Why is the reason you want to get out of bed that morning? It can't be just for a cup of coffee, right? And when you're having a purpose, because once you wake up with the consciousness, you go into your purpose. What is your purpose in life? So I have that connection, like the two things together with consciousness.
I love how you explain that because that's exactly how I think about it. What I've learned is that I'm just so connected to my soul that,
Maclovia Martel.
oh, that's all right. We just talked about that blooper, but I don't know how to edit it yet. Anyway,
Yeah, don't worry.
but yes, I'm this path for me has been to really connect with my soul, to know that I'm here for a higher purpose. And um, and my purpose is to spread awareness, spread love, and give people that might be on the same path some more ideas about what it is to wake up and how it feels and different tools. Because I think we've all used different tools, right? And so what kind of tools have you discovered along your path? You mentioned meditation, which I love.
Well, apart from the Birkman, because you work with the Birkman, uh, what I love about that assessment, because I do feedbacks, and when I work as a mindset mentor, you find in your needs, that's exactly where you find your purpose. And that's part of your subconscious, right? So that's what I use the assessment, because I go usually from a left brain to the right brain. So the left brain means all the data, because people cannot go it's one step at a time. So you go from your left kind of thinking from the mind to your consciousness to the right brain. So I usually use this assessment, and then the first question that I say is, what are you thinking? Because your thoughts, people, we don't stop and analyze our thoughts first. We
Right.
just judge, right? And it's a prejudging. And we have to stop, think first, analyze our thoughts. And, Maria, there's a vibration, right? There are thoughts that have a low vibration that are usually the negative thoughts, and the positive thoughts that are the high vibration. So it's step by step at a time. It's just having the consciousness or the self-awareness, like today. It's like the alcoholic, right? For today, I'm going to work on my thoughts. I'm going to wake up. I'm going to see what my purpose is today. I'm going to be in the here and now, being mindful of my thoughts on everything that I do today. And then we'll see tomorrow. But it's an average. I mean, some people think that they are just going to go up in their vibration and their frequency is going to be up and they're going to be positive from one day to another. That doesn't work that way. It's like an average. Once you start working like this, your average keeps on getting stronger and stronger, and you don't have more rock bottoms like before.
Exactly. Exactly. Oh, those rock bottoms. Yeah.
Yeah, rock bottoms. Yeah.
We
I
both,
mean,
yeah,
you've been through that.
I think most people that are pretty aware right now have really had those rock bottoms. But we came to experience life here,
Mm-hmm.
this
Mm-hmm.
game called life, and
Mm-hmm.
without having all those ups and downs, what I call, the highs and the lows, the good times, the bad times, we don't really learn anything. If we were just
Mm-hmm.
on the high all the time, what would we would just be happy all the time? No, I don't think that
No,
really
we
exists.
need, I mean, there's the shadow, right? I mean, it's the yin and the yang. You need to be in light and you need to be in shadow, because if you have not been in the rock bottom in the shadow, you're not going to know what the light is. So we need both.
Exactly.
And it's not like I'm just going to be in light and be positive. No, sometimes you need to yell. Sometimes you need to cry. Sometimes you need to feel. And it's part of it. The thing that I use is, you don't go as down as rock bottom as we used to before, because now we have another kind of tools. But it's all part of it. I mean, if you need to cry, just cry, yell. Because I think it's worse when you don't talk and you have it inside. Then is when you can get sick and you get cancer and everything. Just be aware, especially of your judging methods. And it comes with self-love,
Yes.
right? So
Yes.
that's where you start, and not being so judgmental about yourself. So you have to start loving yourself more. I know there's a lot of religious people and in society that they say, well, that is selfish. Well, it's not. You first have to give love to yourself, and then you can help another person. It's like oxygen. When you're on the plane, you give oxygen to yourself in order to help other people. So it works the same way. And
That's
I think, Maria, you've been in my same path, but it's sometimes it's a hard no, but we have to learn to say no and not abandon ourselves. Because the
I'm so
problem is
glad.
that we,
Yeah.
especially women, we abandon ourselves because that's how we were brought up. That's the Latin community, the Latin culture. It's like we should
Oh,
be like this,
that's
the
a very
shoulds.
triggering word
That's
for
what I
me.
should do. I should be cooking. I should be taking care of the husband. I should be the good mother.
I should be like
But
this in
maybe,
society. Yeah.
exactly, but maybe that's not my purpose, right? I was just having an interview yesterday with Claudia Gonzalez. She's from Ecuador, and we were talking about the same thing. I mean, how different, and now that you're in Panama, how different is your world right now in Panama compared to when you're living here or in Boston or in Maine? It's completely different.
Well, you just
And
said
you
the
can see the
word.
thinking,
You said the
huh?
word. You said the word. Everyone compares themselves here.
Yep, yep,
So you're always like, what am I wearing? How am I acting? What am I looking? How am I looking? Like it's a lot of what trip am I taking now?
yeah.
It's a lot of
Do you have
compares.
Botox or you didn't have Botox? What did you do to your face? Oh
Exactly.
my God, she said she didn't do. I mean, it's a different way of life.
Yeah.
And what I have found here, Maria, is I can be myself. I mean, it's the first time that I feel free.
Yeah.
I am what
You
I
are in
am.
California. Let's just say you're
I'm
in
in San
California.
Diego. Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, that's a big one, right? So awareness. So
Mm-hmm.
we've got to know what we're thinking. Like
Mm-hmm.
if really we've got to ask ourselves that, at least for me, that's how I started being like I just started really realizing when I read a book about awareness, I was like,
Mm-hmm.
wait a second. So I am constantly asking myself, what am I thinking? But really making it something purposeful, like, what am I thinking? Why am I thinking this?
Mm-hmm.
And working on the why. Am I on autopilot because
Mm-hmm.
this is the way that I've always thought? And if I know what I'm thinking, I can change that. I can start to work on those limiting beliefs and that comfort zone looping thought that we
Mm-hmm.
stay with because it's comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Or I can, be aware and start thinking about my thoughts and really train my mind to start thinking better feeling thoughts. And then that goes
Mm-hmm.
back to when you're feeling better, when you're
Exactly.
thinking higher energy, higher frequency thoughts, you start feeling that, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what you start attracting. We're all energy and vibration, and it's it really is like the law of attraction. Like you start attracting what you start thinking about.
Exactly.
Um, which I think yeah, we talked a little bit about manifestation as well.
Yeah. But it's more, if you go deep dive, it's more about patterns because
Absolutely.
we have in our unconscious, right?
Mhm.
Because when you're self-aware is going into your unconscious, what patterns are we repeating?
Over and over
Like in
again.
your first marriage, to your second marriage, to your father, with your friends, and we're in automatic pilot. Sometimes we're even in survival mode, so we keep on having the same pattern. So before being positive or being the love thing or everything, is first, if the self-awareness is the first part for everything, it's the
Very
first
first
step,
step.
right?
It is.
So check your patterns. Why are you doing, and how do you check your patterns? It has to do with changing your behaviors. Like if you wake up and you get your phone the first thing, or you the first thing is get coffee, for that day, do something different, right? Go and take a walk, take
Yes.
a juice. And once you change that behavior, it's amazing how it works. First, change the behavior, and then it's that you change your thought and you change your pattern. But if we don't change those behaviors, that pattern keeps on triggering. I mean, at least that has been happening to me. It's like I never had coffee in the mornings when I wake up. And now it's, I don't know. I'm having that pattern. It's like, okay, I want to try to get something or a juice or get breakfast first. I know it's the body gets used to it. And I always have the same thoughts when I'm having my coffee. So what if you change and have something else, have a juice or have your breakfast first? What will happen? What new thoughts will come in? And just that's the journaling and start writing them down. It's amazing how it works.
I I am so with you on all of that. It really is about breaking the patterns, getting out, yeah, realizing that you have a pattern and then doing
Mm-hmm.
something different. You know,
Yeah, we all have. Yeah.
we that's the only way to do it, really. And
When
to
you
just
go
get
to a
out of the
social
circle.
event,
Yeah.
when you go to a social event, right? When I go back to Ecuador or when I go with my friends in Miami, we kind of like prepare. Okay, they're going to be talking about this. So I have to know about this. And suddenly, without awareness, I'm in the gossiping again.
Yes. Yes.
Because if not, I don't have anything because we're used to. Or you see a face, it's like, well, I'll talk to, I have to talk about certain thing to that person because that's what we're used to. Because we are, I think 80%, I don't know, we're in automatic pilot. And that's when we don't have that self-awareness. And that's your path, Maria, now, because I think since I met you, remember that we went on a trip, it was 1985. I mean, you're a completely different person. I mean, your path has been like mine. I mean, it's a roller coaster.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
But here we are.
but here we are, and I'm so happy that
Mm-hmm,
at least at least that I pushed myself through all of the tough times and realizing that I was going through tough times and saying, no, I'm not going to give up. And it might be hard or scary to take the next step, but if I don't do it, nobody's going to do it for me.
mm-hmm,
So for me, that was sort of my path along the last 5 or 6 years when I just kind of realized I needed to do something different with my life because I'm
mm-hmm,
here for something more, you know.
mm-hmm,
And I think that that inner child in me, that little girl,
mm-hmm,
was always speaking to me. Um, but with the programming that we get while we're growing up, especially at a younger age, before the age of 7, something happens that we are not free anymore because we're
mm-hmm,
told what we should be doing and how should we should be behaving. And
mm-hmm,
you should do this and you should not do that, and you have to do this and you cannot do that. And it kind of turns off ourselves, our souls, our spirit. It's like then we begin acting like everybody else around us because they're all being told the same thing. You've got to do it this
mm-hmm,
way and you can't do it that way. And you got to, that's where all the rules come, right?
mm-hmm. And
All
it's a
the rules.
program, right? It's just think of it as a program. And it's harder, for me at least, to unlearn than to learn.
Oh, yeah.
Because you have to get rid of all that disc that is inside our head. So it's like you go to a place and you just change, right? And it's completely like when I'm in Miami, I'm one person. I'm in California, I'm another person. When I go back to Ecuador, I'm another person, right? And when I'm with my daughter in Europe or my other daughter in Quito, it's like I'm another person. It's like we change, we put a mask, right? We change, we adapt to different circumstances. But the real you comes from your authentic self. I mean,
Yes,
what if you try to be you with that person that thinks that you were that person before? And and that's a challenge. Okay, try talking to that person something different, a friend that you've known for 30 years. It's like it's hard. Or your sister or your mom. It's like, okay, maybe they're going to think I'm weird. So
yeah,
it's
yeah. And I've also found that, there's certain conversations that I'm just not interested in anymore.
mm-hmm,
Like
mm-hmm,
you said, we talked about the gossiping. Like, I don't want to talk about other people.
mm-hmm,
Like this, I feel like I'm either judging or, which I don't like to do, and I really, it doesn't interest me what other people's business. I like talking about life. I like talking about these kind of conversations,
mm-hmm.
because we're improving ourselves by
Yeah.
talking about this. So yeah, gossiping has been for me.
Well, I was talking about that with my daughter the other day, that if everybody loves gossiping. I mean, I cannot say I don't like gossiping because it's like reading a book. When you're reading a book, you want to know what's going on, what's happening in the next chapter. So I always make a difference between gossiping and putting people down. That's a completely different thing.
I like how you say
Because
that.
you want to know, I mean, is you want to know and this person and what is doing. Oh, she got a divorce and this, and it's fun because it's everybody. I mean, human beings like gossip because if not, we would never read a book or a novel, right? But I always make a difference. It's like when you're in a group and they are like crashing on somebody and putting somebody down, and that's a completely different thing, right? And that happens a lot in
Yeah.
Latin America.
And it's,
Now that you're in Panama.
that's sad to me, actually. That's
Mm-hmm,
really sad to me that we put so yeah, that judgment. And when we talk about
mm-hmm,
someone else specifically and we say like
mm-hmm,
bad things about them, it's
mm-hmm,
yeah, that it just doesn't even feel good.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Which we're here to feel everything, but that just doesn't feel good to me.
Yeah, yeah.
So it is like what information are we putting into our minds or brains to process? And like I don't want to be talking about somebody else.
Mm-hmm,
Um,
mm-hmm,
so yeah, I've definitely noticed that about myself. You talked a little bit about authenticity.
mm-hmm,
I know
mm-hmm.
that that's a really big word for you. Can you go a little bit more into what your definition of
Of authenticity,
authenticity?
yeah. I mean, I use it a lot because I work with purpose. So for me, finding your purpose at the same time, before finding your purpose, I think you have to find your authentic you. Who are you? What's your passion? And I've seen people that are 60 something, 70 something, but they don't know who are they. That's the reason I always use the Bigman assessment for this. And in the needs, in their subconscious is where I find the real you, because we have a mask, how we present ourselves to society, how we want to be seen. And here's what we have: the fear and the love, and not the love, the mushy stuff, but it's like being you, right? And fear comes from ego. And sometimes people don't know the difference between, they think ego is somebody that loves himself or herself a lot, but it's totally the opposite. It comes from fear because that person needs to be validated. So to find your authenticity, you have to go deep dive and be yourself no matter what, without caring what people can say about you. Just be you and be liked, but who are you? And I think that takes a lot of self-awareness. And in my case, well, my life has been a roller coaster. So you learn that through the years, that you don't want to act, you don't want to be somebody you're not, and you just want to be comfortable and you want to be liked by other people, but what you are, but what you can give. Who are you? Because we are in automatic pilot again. I mean, when I ask in the podcast the first question, uh, it's funny because when you ask woman, who are you? They can answer faster than men. Men is, oh, I'm an engineer, I'm a CEO, I do this, I do that. It's like, no, 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 that's what you do. Who are you?
Interesting.
If
Yes.
only a few people can answer. I'm a creative. I am this. I am sensible. Um, I'm funny. I mean, it's so hard because we've been living in a society that nobody asks this question. You don't have time,
Exactly.
especially men.
Exactly. And that authenticity leads to self-love. That's how I feel is that when I start being more myself, or yeah, I guess I mean when I started being aware a few years
Mm-hmm,
ago, like really being aware of what I was thinking, and that I could choose how to think
mm-hmm,
and choose me first and choose what was good for my well-being and how
mm-hmm,
I wanted to feel. And yeah, it might sound selfish, it might sound self-centered, but without that self-love that I have for me now, it's, I don't. I mean, I guess I was giving love all my life, but it might not have been like authentic love.
Yeah.
And now
But
I
but
feel like
but
I'm
it's
very
society,
present.
right?
It's
It's
society, but it's
religion, it's
family.
society that it's a definition that we've how we have been brought up,
Yeah.
that thinking in yourself is selfish. It's a sin. No, no, and you cannot be your authentic you. So we're used to pleasing other people. I mean, we talked about that with you in here in California, Maria, for so long. I mean, it's we become people pleasers for image.
Mhm.
So we lose ourselves in the process. We abandon ourselves and then we avoid ourselves. So getting to the point to finding your authentic you, I wish I would have done when I was 18, but I
Oh,
was not. I was acting. I was trying to be part of
yes.
being accepted. So sometimes I think life should be different. I mean, we should start here and end up like that.
Well, we did. That's the thing, though. We did start out free of thought when we were
Yeah,
born,
yeah, you're
and
right.
that that the way that
We got contaminated.
we got contaminated, we got programmed, we got conditioned,
My
and
God.
that's okay. We got conditioned, and yeah. So I don't, that little girl in me, I'm
Mm-hmm,
finding her. I've done
mm-hmm,
a lot of inner child work,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
and have really come back to that free spirit that I feel I was when I was younger. Yeah, when I'm told like, oh, when you were a little girl, you were like this and this and this, and I'm like, God, what happened to that little girl? And so throughout these years, it's really awesome to have connected with her, forgiven myself, her for the way that I abandoned myself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And now I'm definitely on a different path now of just
Freedom.
being freedom. Oh, well, freedom. Yeah, freedom is
And you
huge.
can only find
Yeah.
yourself, Maria. It's like the path you were, like when you got divorced and started living alone. I think it's the only way. I mean, I know every person has a different path in life, right? But I remember in my first divorce, I was dating everyone. Plan A, plan B, plan C. I was and it was out of fear. It's like, okay, out of fear and trying to be free again because I got married at 22. So it's like, let's go and party. And I was 48. So every time somebody's talking, I said, oh, I did that when I was 48. Oh, I did that too when I was 48. Because, but we need it. And people need to
Right.
understand that sometimes every path is different from each person. Nobody can say, hey, okay, you have to start being alone and that's the only way to learn. No, every person needs to go through a different path, and that's something that a lot of people don't understand. If I didn't go that path, I wouldn't have been so happy when I was alone or when Miguel is traveling and I'm all alone, right? Because I went through that already. So you need to be alone. So you want to be with people or you want to have a partner, but you have to have both. And you need to party and you need to have one, two, three. I don't know. I say whatever, because that is, you need to go through what you have to go through to evolve.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's not a sin. It's something that if you don't do it, you're never gonna know what happens. I can say it's the worst.
Right. Well, we learn we
For
learn
me,
from everything. We
because
learn
I
from
confessed everything.
no more confessions. No more
No,
confessions. No, we
no, I
confess
cannot
to
lie. So
ourselves.
it's bad.
Yeah.
So every time it's like I'm dating one at a time, two at a time. It's like, don't do it. It's the worst.
Well, I mean, what I've learned is, yeah, I've definitely have learned from all of my relationships, um, in my entire life, like what this person, what I learned being from this person, what I learned being from this person, and from my children, and from my ex-husband, and from my mom and dad, and
Mm-hmm.
the different people that I've been with. What have I learned about myself? And as I became more aware, I started realizing, like, wait a second, I don't, now that like I know how I'm feeling, like this doesn't feel very good. Or this feels really good,
Yeah,
being with this
yeah.
person and this
But
person,
you have
like,
to go, but you have to go through that, right? I
gotta
mean,
go through it.
it's not like certain person is, no, that's a sin, you can't do it, don't do it, it's bad. No, you have to go through it. And that's what I always tell my clients. I mean, I prefer to interview somebody that has done it all because that's the learning experience, that's the evolution. I mean, it's so boring to interview somebody that has nothing going on in their life and they
So
did nothing because they were afraid. Because that for me, that comes from fear. I
let's
mean, and
talk
that's part
about
of the
fear.
authenticity, huh?
Let's talk about fear for just
Let's
a
talk
second.
about fear. Oh my
Okay,
God.
so yes, so we both have experienced a lot in life. We've done a lot of steps to step out of that fear.
Mm-hmm.
But we did something in California last year that for me was life changing. It was really the day I said, I have zero fear to do this. And that was when we jumped off a cliff in San Diego and went paragliding. Um, yes, paragliding, right? Yeah.
Yeah, at
And
59.
at 59, yeah, well, still 58. We were still 58.
Yeah, we were 58
Um,
by then. But it
and
was now or never, right?
And it was like, I remember you asked, like, do you want to go paragliding? And if you would have asked me 5 years, I would have been like, there is zero way that I would go paragliding out of fear. But that day came when you asked, do you want to go? And then I was like, yeah, let's go. And then the day came that we actually went. We had to
And then
sign
I
all the
got
papers.
scared. Then I got scared and I thought you were going to say no because you were in LA, remember?
Yes,
So I
yes.
said, "Oh, okay, maybe we're not going to do it because I think Maria is going to stay more in LA. She's not coming." And suddenly you came here and you said, "Let's go tomorrow." Tomorrow?
Yeah.
And we tried some tequila and didn't want to give us. Remember, I wanted tequila.
You wanted tequila to jump off that cliff. But for me, it was a totally different experience. We really had a very, very different
Yeah.
experience beforehand, because I really had zero fear. Like I wanted to go do it. It was adventurous. I was in the mood for adventure at that moment in my life. And I do remember though that something when we started reading okay, if I die, I'm not going to sue you and all of that.
No, no. I mean, it's remember one
And
thing they said, if you this is a sport that you could end up dead or paraplegic. And I stopped and I said, let's go and get a drink.
then they said, "We're ready for
And
you
you said,
now."
okay. It's like,
Yeah. So no drinking, no tequila, no nothing. We just jumped. We jumped and yeah, that was very life-changing, I think, for both of us. I mean, we definitely experienced it differently, but we conquered a huge fear.
mhm.
And I was really, really, really proud of myself. I was really proud of you. I mean, we were up there for half an hour. You know,
Well, I got nauseous. You didn't get
we
nauseous.
got nauseous, but it was still that, like, I did it.
I mean, I was
I did
feeling
it.
so nauseous for a while that I was not having fear anymore. I was embarrassed because I said, why if I have to throw up here and in the air? So
Yeah.
my fear was that. So I changed for something to happen me for the image. Like, what if somebody's going to film me and I'm throwing up? So it's weird how the mind works, right? We started with fear. I started with fear, and then it was the image. It's like, oh my God, this would be so embarrassing. Somebody filming me and me throwing up. So, and you were like Zen. You were the Zen woman.
I was actually recording myself talking,
Yeah.
for my coaching page. And it was a blast. Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
I can't wait to do it again. I can't wait to have more adventures, and do more of that. Um, to change the conversation just a little bit more because I think it's something really interesting. So I remember I was one of your first guests on your podcast last year,
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Hitting rock bottom.
hitting rock bottom, and that was back in, I think it was April or May of last
I think
year,
it was June. I think we
maybe
started
June.
in June. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so since then, your podcast has really evolved, and you have
Yeah.
had all kinds of different guests. What have been some of the most interesting guests for
I've
you
had,
that you've spoken to? And just to be clear, you do this podcast with Maclovia, another good friend,
yeah, she's a,
and
film director. Yeah,
and,
McLovin Lolly. Yeah.
and Loli as well.
Uh-huh.
And so the three of you have really created a really great, it's like an I Am Conversations podcast. And yeah, you've had some amazing guests. But what have been some of the most memorable ones that you can share that might be more
Well, the
along this
most
topic of
memorable
consciousness?
ones, the most memorable one has to be with the foreign president, Jamil Mawad, that we forgot to record. Apart
Okay.
from yours, I mean, that's how you start. And it was the most embarrassing because the conversation was so interesting that I remember that when it was about to end, that the red button was not on red. And I said, wow. And it was like 6 months looking for him, and we didn't record. So you don't know. I mean, and I had to call him again
Mhm.
to beg him.
Beg him. Yeah, he was the former president of
Like he
Ecuador.
was an ex-boyfriend and I wanted him to come back with me. It was very embarrassing, but he decided to come back with us. And yeah, that we would never forget that. Can you imagine? So that's part of life. I mean, these kind of
Absolutely.
experiences. We've had an astronaut. We have that first Korean astronaut on space. She was amazing because she was the first woman astronaut on space. And all her process and how I mean, you can never leave your fear behind. You fly with your fear. You welcome fear as your co-pilot, and you become free. And that was the first conversation we had with her. And she went with the Russians. It was a Russian ship, so they were very sexist, and she was Korean. So everything she went through in space, I won't tell you. So you guys can go in. She was amazing, and we've had a lot of NDEs that has been incredible because
Can you define what ND,
near death
near-death
experiences.
experiences? Thank you.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, I forget that some people don't know. I mean, it's because it gives you peace. And for me, it has been a process to not have fear of that anymore. I've been always very afraid of sickness. I went through cancer and everything. So anything that happens, I get triggered or I get worried. But after hearing so many guests with these stories, I mean, it's like going through a PhD. You learn so much. We have artists. We've had Eldra Jackson. You saw him. He was in jail for lifetime imprisonment, and he got out. So he would tell all the stories when he was in the hole. So that was amazing.
And
That was amazing.
he wasn't supposed to be in jail. Is that what it was?
No, no, no. He
He
was supposed to be in
he was
jail. I
supposed to be in
mean, and he was not the typical person that was supposed to be in gangs. He came from a really good family. He was living in London. His father was in the military. I mean, he was not some abandoned kid that went into gangs, but he had this adrenaline in his in his in his mind, so he thought it was fun. So the group of friends, they became a gang, so he became a gang member. I don't know what exactly happened, but I think they killed somebody, or I don't know. I mean,
And what was the learning experience from that interview?
the learning experience is purpose and strength and fear. And the first person that told me that you cannot leave the fear behind was Eldra Jackson. You have to travel with your fear. Fear has to be your best friend, and you have to welcome it as your co-pilot. It's the only way, because you're in jail. You're in the worst case scenario, and for lifetime. So you have to survive. So you don't have a choice. So it has been amazing. It's amazing. And thank you, Maria, because you were also my first guest, and we forgot to record you also.
Yeah.
But that's fun because our bleepers are organic. I mean, it's part of it. Sometimes you get frozen, but it's part of life.
Yeah,
Not acting.
one of the things I think that I've learned also through this process, because I'm part of the Light and Love Club that has been
Mm-hmm.
part of my life for the past I guess 9 months or so. I've traveled to Bali It's with Courtney, a woman who channels source, higher source, and her meditations and all the programs that she's had really have helped me to really be connected to
Mm-hmm.
my soul,
Mm-hmm.
and just discover, myself and why I'm here. Um, and where was I going with that? It's yeah, it's a process, but back then, I think that was like part of my awakening. When you were
Mm-hmm.
interviewing
Mm-hmm.
me, I I had gone through illness, I had gone through different relationships and my parents and all of that. And each time that I went through all that, I chose myself. Just kept choosing
Mm-hmm.
myself and following my intuition and following my gut. And
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 that's brave because normal, I mean, you're not supposed to do that. You have to choose your marriage. You have to choose harmony.
well,
I mean,
I had grown up that way all my life, and but I don't think I truly chose myself. I think I chose the happiness of other people more than I chose myself. When we talked about, like belonging and fitting in and making others happy, I think that was a big way that I lived my life.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Because I wanted to be part of something. I wanted to be included, or I wanted to fit in, and I mean, it's something that I worked on all my life. I always felt like I had to fit in because I moved a lot. We
mm-hmm,
moved a lot,
mm-hmm,
so it was always
mm-hmm,
like a constant, like, well, where do I fit in here? And where do I fit in here? And where do I fit in this country, and in this state? And so it's definitely something, all these limiting beliefs and patterns that I have definitely worked through and
mm-hmm.
worked on. But going back to you said you talked with a couple of people of near-death experiences. Was there a common theme there?
The common thing I would say it's peacefulness. And again, could be people that have been more evolved with self-awareness tend to see peace immediately, right? Some people see Buddha, some people see Jesus. It depends on your belief. I mean, it's all about your belief system. I mean, what another thing that I have learned from all these people is that God is not outside; it's inside.
It is.
It's about you. So that's the reason we have to take care of ourselves because you came here for a reason. And the same message, if you read the book, Anita Murjani, she says the same thing. We came here to be authentic and we came here with a purpose, right? And society and religion and everything, they have tried to manipulate that. Sorry for all the religious people that are hearing this, but I have to say it. And it is. It is. So start loving yourself first and then try with the rest. And the other thing that I've learned is never abandon yourself because that's also learned. And that's learned from how we were brought up by our parents. I mean, don't talk about yourself too much. Don't say that. Do this. You should do this. You should get good grades. If you do something like that, you're a narcissist. I mean, everything is so conditioned, Maria.
It is. It is.
And yeah, and I thought and I was always trying to break that and find something else. And I tried everything. I even went into religion when I was first married to this Youngstown thing, and I lasted like a month. I said, no, this is not for me. Because for everybody, you get your spirituality or your path from a different source. Some people, they can say, well, religion works for them, it's more structured, but for me, no. And we're both Aquarius. I'm rebel, you're rebel. I mean,
I
I'm not a rule follower.
I kind of see spirituality as almost like a religion. I mean, I believe that we are all part of God and God is part of all of us and we are God and God is in us and God is everywhere. Like,
Hmm.
but you can also say God, the universe, source, Buddha, Pacha, whatever, however you say it in Spanish,
Pachamama.
Pachamama.
That's the
Uh,
earth.
I mean, everyone has a different word for God, but it all means the same, right? It's this higher consciousness that we're all a part of.
Mm-hmm.
And so that, yeah, that's kind of my opinion on that. Um, as far as that all religions lead to the same thing, no matter
Love.
what
Yeah.
religion you are.
Yeah. It's
Uh,
love or fear. Yeah. And it can be a shaman. It can be, but another thing that we have to learn because it's 2026, Maria, respect.
oh, yeah,
That didn't happen 30 years ago. I mean, I am a Catholic and this is my truth. I am a Jewish and or a Muslim, whatever. It's like union. I mean, we can all be together being different, having different beliefs. And that's a problem with ego also, right? Because you
yeah, we
can
gotta
have a
let go of the
spiritual ego.
ego. Let go
Yeah,
of the
and that's the
ego.
spiritual ego. Is like, I know, I mean the truth. Yo sé la verdad. No,
I
it's
agree. I
not like
agree.
that. So
Yeah,
it's a path. And I think like you said in our podcast, I mean, hitting rock bottom, once you're down there, you have nowhere else to go but up. So you get excited for the new challenges you're going to face. I mean, it's this energy, and that's when you are connected with the flow and when you're connected with your purpose. It's like you don't care, you just talk. Or when you're doing something you have passion for, you look up and you said, hey, how long have I been doing this? And that's when you're in the flow, you're connected. And it could be anywhere, it could be even meditating. But if you're doing something because you have to do it, it's different, right? And you know the difference between the should and the I am.
absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, the word should just
Yeah,
triggers me. You should be doing this and you should do that. Like, and being told at this age and now, like nobody should tell anybody what to do, what they should do.
yeah.
You can give them advice if you want, but no one
Well,
should
when
be
we
told what to
only moms when we were moms.
do. We can give advice now. And that's
Yeah,
what I do with my children now. It's like I can give advice, but I
yeah,
just don't even use that word anymore. You should or you have to.
yeah,
It's because I run away from it. I
yeah.
actually want to do the opposite when people use that word on me. So, um, and is there anything else that we haven't touched on? Well, meditation. Oh, I wanted to ask you, um, so we both meditate a lot. I know that we meditate. What
You
meditations?
meditate more than me. I do a different kind of. I do my meditation when I'm in my bike, when I'm walking, more than sit there and go in the So it's a in mindfulness, like walking around, breathing, feeling, or listening to music. But I'm not the kind of person that every day meditates. I need a guidance. With a guided meditation, oh my God, I think I go out of the body experience. But I need help in that because I don't have maybe the structure or the discipline to say, okay, I'm going to meditate from 5 to 6. I need to, I have to.
I do.
You do.
I do. I love meditating. It brings me to the now. It brings me to the present, and that's where I like to be. I don't like to, control everything that's happening all at the same time.
Yeah.
Like I can
No.
plan, but I can't control.
Yeah,
Um,
you're good at it. You're good at that. And this is great. And now, Maria, tell me a little bit. What are you planning with this podcast? Having guests, light workers, like all the people you met in
yeah, like I said, everybody has had a different way of
Mhm,
finding their soul purpose.
mhm,
Um, well, some haven't even found their purpose yet because I think that comes at a certain point. But like being so connected to your soul that you know you're here for something more than the 9 to 5 job, and you have to do it this way, and you're unhappy, and
mhm,
then you're in a bad mood, and you get home, and then you're in another bad mood. It's like no, there's got to be more to this life than this routine thing
mhm,
that at least I lived.
mhm,
And so through my 5 years, 6 years of self-reflection and
mhm,
self-growth, I have met so many different people along the way, taken a lot of, I did a manifestation course. I did a connecting with the self course or
You were
reconnect.
in Asia. Yeah, you were in Asia.
I went to Bali with the Light and Love Club. Yeah, I've done and met a lot of people and done a lot of things. And
Mm-hmm.
it's been great, just getting to really know myself. Um, but I have met so many different people. I mean, we're going to interview a lot of people. I want to interview a lot of people on this podcast just to get different perspectives because we all walk a different path, but we're all headed in the same direction. We
Yeah.
all want
And
union,
in a different
community,
way, right?
and
It's
we
it's a
want peace. We all want love. That's really
mm-hmm.
what we want. We want peace, love,
Mm-hmm.
and unity and community, and but right now the world is so divided and different there's so many different points of views on so many different things, but ultimately what we want is peace,
Mm-hmm.
love,
And humanity, right? I mean, just
humanity.
what I think that's happening a lot is that everybody's thinking in themselves, and that's different than self-love. Self-love is to love. That is more like ego, like thinking and thinking in yourself. And this is good for me. I don't care what happens with humanity, right? So it's not that easy to find somebody that would say, well, this is bad for my business, and it's humanity. But I think little by little, more people are getting into this path, and
I think
you
so
see
too.
that, and you can see that before people didn't even know what meditation was. Just remember, it's like, can you explain what is it? Now it's like everybody knows. So I think there's more good things that are happening than they're more in the light than in the dark side. I don't know.
No, I do. I truly, truly believe that. I think people are becoming more conscious. I know people are becoming more conscious. I see that with people around me,
Mm-hmm.
where they are reflecting back on how they're thinking and how they're feeling, and I think it's great to have to discuss this,
Mm-hmm.
because, like I said, there's just so many different ways and so many. I used a lot of YouTube videos until I finally resonated with Courtney from the Light and Love Club,
Yeah.
Um, but there's definitely like people that you resonate with and that you feel their good vibe and their good energy and their
Mm-hmm.
frequency. And then there's people that
Mm-hmm.
you're just like, I don't,
Yeah, don't.
person is
Yeah.
just not vibing with me at all.
They're
Um,
they're more acting.
and then we have, I've met people that do astrology, and I've met people that they channel. I have a really good friend that I want to interview who has channeled an entire amazing album that she put out on Spotify, and I think like within a week and a half she got like 1,000 hits, and
Wow.
it's all channeled music that she's
Wow.
created. Yeah.
And
And
she's a musician?
I mean, she's channeled, yeah, she's making her own music. Um,
Wow.
and so I hope to have a lot of different perspectives on this because I think it's going to be fun to have these kind of conversations.
Mm-hmm.
There's people that speak light language, which I don't. I think you,
When
you,
I when I that's what they say when I sleep, but I don't know if it's Chinese or
yeah, some people don't know what light language is,
yeah,
and
you have to ask my husband that.
yes, yeah, and that'll be another topic of conversation. Um, yeah, there's going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot of different perspectives and a lot of conversations that are going to be a lot of fun and very interesting, I think. And I think the
Yep.
world needs this right now more than ever.
Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
Just put a little bit of light around everything and laugh. Laugh. I mean, we're
Oh,
forgetting
fun.
about laugh. Laughter is, if you want to manifest, it's authenticity and laughter. I mean, that's how you get really, really into the flow. I mean, it's not as much like being love and thinking positive, positive. For me, it's once I start laughing and just not take life so seriously. Just think that life is a game. Treat life as a game and have fun.
It is a game.
Have fun.
It
Yeah, it
really
is
is
a
a game.
game.
So how
That's
do
what I
you
always say.
Yeah.
Play the
So,
game of
so how do
life.
you choose to play?
Yeah.
Exactly. How do you, if you want to play and you want to be the winner, choose yourself.
Exactly.
and how do you
And
treat
that's
play?
my speak for the TEDx is exactly that. Learn to treat life as a game. Because
Perfect.
if you can go into all the drama, everybody has a different movie, right? It's a film. You can come in the film, go out on the film, but just create your own film. And here, because we're
Create.
creators, yeah, and creators from inside.
That's what I say. I'm the writer of the movie. I'm the
The
actress
scripter.
in the movie. I'm the producer. I'm the director. I'm the main character. This is my movie. My life
Mm-hmm.
is my movie. And what do
Yep.
I want that movie to be?
Yep.
And how do I create that movie?
Yeah.
So
And don't take life seriously. Like when we went on we have to go in the parachute.
I'll go
We
parachuting
have to
with you.
go. There's the plane, and it's here in Oceanside. And we go, and we have like a 20-second, 30-second free fall.
Let's do it.
You want it?
Yeah,
Let's go together.
let's do it. Let's plan
But
that.
let's travel with our fear as a co-pilot.
Well, I say sometimes I say, yeah, you gotta like you talked about fear a different way, but I say
Yeah.
that fear is like a four-letter word. It's like, no, just say, you know,
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
No, if I do
Um,
that, every time I resist fear, it gets worse. I
oh,
mean, I go into panic. So
well,
I
I
have to
say
embrace it and welcome it.
acknowledge it and then
And
but don't
welcome
get
it.
stuck there. Yeah,
No.
don't get stuck with it. Like just acknowledge that you have fear. That's how I ended up in Panama. It's like this
And
fear
say thank you.
is
Yeah.
it's here. I acknowledge it. I know what I'm feeling. Do I want to keep feeling this? No. Do I want to keep giving it more attention? No, because if you're stuck in that fear, you can't take the next steps. And that's
And it's just the
that was
next steps,
very,
not the
very
whole
big for
staircase.
me.
You have to go little by little. Yeah.
Little, yeah, baby steps.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So, well, thank you so, so, so much for joining me today, for being my first guest. And yeah, I really want to I want to keep you here in this world with me.
Oh,
Keep having more adventures together. I want to wish you the best of everything with your TED Talk. I hope your podcast keeps growing and growing because I know that you've definitely started from very little to now you have like
ah,
a lot of people
forgetting to record.
getting to record. How many guests have you had now?
Like 120.
Wow.
No, 107 with shorts and everything. It's like 160.
See, that's
But the
amazing.
long videos, that's a good question because the count is like for everything. I will have to check in Spotify and Audibles because that's the whole podcast in it.
But see, more and more people, it just goes to show that more and more people are
Yeah,
interested
yeah,
in that, I am. I mean, I
yeah.
that we are. I am
But
myself.
we are now with the business podcast. So it's the same thing, but transformation stories for companies. So it's good. So we want to open a little bit at the spectrum for everybody.
I love that.
Let's see.
I love that. So
But thank you, Maria.
thank
Thank you
you,
for
Ana
everything. I
Maria.
love you. Thank you.
Thank you. So just to remind everyone, Ana Maria's podcast is called I Am Conversations. And I'm sure that your TED Talk will be shared once you
Yeah.
do your TED Talk, which I think you said it might be sometime in
The
August,
TEDx.
September.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, yeah, TEDx. Okay. And yeah, thank you for having this conversation with me today. And
Thank you, Maria.
so
I
much love to
love
you.
you and
So
wish
much
you
love.
the best because this is going to be great. I love that you have this podcast.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm excited.
Okay.
So thank you. Bye-bye. Bye, everyone.